It's Friday. How y'all doing? What's up, everybody? It's Friday. It's good to be here, back in the neighborhood, back to where I belong in my house and in my office. Long week of hard commutes and hard work. We got that 40-hour work week done in 3 days. We got that done in 3 days. You know what I'm talking about. So a lot of work done this week so far. A lot more work to do on a Friday and this weekend. A lot of fun out there. The rain is starting to come down as we're moving into the fall season. It is October 16th in the year 2020, which is exciting because that means yesterday was the big non-debate. I don't know if anybody noticed the non-debate debate. Very interesting. Very interesting setup between old Joseph R. Biden and Donald Jingle Jangle Trump. Very interesting thing that you would probably have noticed between the two. Definitely a big yin and yang, I think, between those two events, whatever they were supposed to be. They were supposed to be a debate, but Trump got COVID. The president of the United States got the coronavirus, got sick, and realistically, nobody wants him to be giving it to anybody else. So they did this weird town hall thing, and then, of course, Geronimo Trump there was just angry and making up lies, and Joe Biden was not angry and telling some fibs, I guess. I don't know about you guys, but I am legit super tired of TV reality silver spoon kid, rich kid from New York being involved in our government. I don't know about you guys, but I am super tired of it. We're like 3.5, almost 4 years into it. And it is just wildly exhausting. And I would say that regardless of your political affiliation, I would just vote for Biden so we could just calm down for another period. And then maybe next time we get Kanye or his wife, one of the Kardashians or something. Like, I feel like we really need a break from this nonsense, realistically. So that's my hot take on the whatever debates you want to call it. It was dumb. But realistically, if you look at their platforms, I agree a lot more with Biden than I do Trump, because Trump didn't even put a platform together. They just copied and pasted 2016 platform, which I think is a sign that you didn't do any of the stuff that you said you were going to do, right? At the very least. Like, if all of the stuff that you said you were going to do 4 years ago and all you did was copy and paste that and be like, yeah, we're going to do that now. It's like, dude, you didn't do it then. You didn't do it while you were in office. And, yeah, it's not working. It's not working. As far as I'm concerned, it's not working. Put him in an AC box so he won't spread anything. Yeah, put him in a acrylic container. I don't think it works that way because you start blowing out your droplets and then it's in the air and it's floating around, and that could be a problem, especially if you're inside a building. They maybe could have done it outside in front of a chopper or something like that, I guess. Maybe that seems to be a thing that happens. Yeah. Let's see. Michael Starr says, if we have another reality persona for president, can we have a comedian next time? Maybe we would be in a better mood. Just a thought. Yeah. I think that's a good point. I think if we do another actor reality star, which, by the way, this is not the first actor reality star that has been president. Ronald McDonald Reagan was also an actor, if people have forgotten about that. We all like to think that he was the president, but he spent like 40 years before being president acting in movies. Donald's Fish 5 says Joel Pelosi stopped lots of the things being completed, inclusive of money for stressed people currently. That is not accurate at all. You really should go look up the fact that the coronavirus bill was finished in May from the House. It was passed in the House. It was all done. Here you go. Passed on to the Senate, and the Senate went through, and they cut out a bunch of the stuff that would help you and I, us regular people that need help at this point in time. They cut all of that out, like the earned income tax credit. They cut that out of the bill and whatnot. So I would, before we go, talking about that stuff, we definitely would have to take that into account. So I don't like Pelosi either, but the reality of that situation is Mitch McConnell right now they're pushing through a Supreme Court nomination. If they really cared, they'd be working on getting a bill done. And then Trump said he's not going to do anything. He took everybody away. Then 2 days later, he said, go back, negotiate again. Just send me a bill and I'll just sign it. So hopefully more people vote for me. It's real ridiculous. So, yeah. NK says, yeah, I'm out of here. Didn't realize it was a Democrat meeting. Okay. Bye-bye. See you later. Anyhow. Let's see. Rico Stan said I'd vote for Patton Oswalt. I would vote for Patton Oswalt. If Patton Oswalt ran for president, I would 100% vote for Patton Oswalt. He's got my vote. That is for certain. Speaking of work, finally got a new job, getting to travel a lot, going to California for a few weeks, then to Washington for a week and a half from Texas. Andy, there you go. That's some good news. I really like that one. That's good stuff. Yin and Yank. Yeah, definitely yin and yank. That's for sure. Oh man, starting right off with politics. For mismatched socks. I mean, it was last night. It was the thing that's the thing that happened last night. Nobody has brought in any new fish products to the market since last night that I have noticed, other than Rumbust, which I have posted right here. He's 3D printing some cool stuff, so I have that posted right there, and we'll actually talk about that stuff fairly soon. Bob's head in time with the jams. Yeah, the beginning. We have some new jams at the beginning here. Courtesy of what? Oh, hold on. I have to open that file. I actually crashed the computer earlier, so that file is no longer open. Yeah, it's kind of funny. Like, people get super mad at me if I talk about politics or do any of that kind of stuff. Yeah, I'm super progressive and all that. If you don't like my politics, you don't have to be here. 100%. That's just my opinion. That's legit my opinion. Nobody is forcing anybody to be here and hang out for the show. Realistically, I don't even ask anybody to be here for the show. So, I mean, if people don't want to be here for the show, then totally go do that. Go do whatever the other thing is that you were going to do. Where was the music from? Ah, crap. What am I in the wrong? I think I'm in the wrong hard drive. XSplit recordings? Yep, I'm in the wrong hard drive. I need this hard drive. Nope, that's not the right hard drive either. I have too many hard drives on this computer. Aha, it's this one. I found it. Ian Post. His name is Ian Post. Is the artist who did the last song and this song. So, Ian Post. Very easy name to spell. So if you're actually looking for some jams from him, you can probably look him up. But I think he's mainly an artist. That's a tongue twister. I think most of his tracks end up on Artlist and they're licensed that way. So it might not be feasible for you to get one of those. But as I mentioned before, yeah, I'm a super progressive guy. I am a gun-owning progressive, so however you want to put it. I'm all about hard work. I'm a blue-collar dude, but I'm also all about progressive politics. You know, the fact that the greater good is contributed by the group of the greater, right? So the large populations that we have are able to contribute our own little bit to making life better and better is the way I kind of view the world. And, a while ago I was talking about this where, because somebody was like, I don't understand how anything like political has anything to do with my fish room. I just want to do fish. Like, okay. Where do you get your water from? It's like, well, I get mine from a well. I live in the mountain somewhere. It's like, okay. How do we trust that a mining company isn't going to spoil your well? How do we trust that you have electricity in order to pump water from your well into your house for it to be pressurized enough for you to be able to move water around? How do we know if it's actually safe for you to drink or to be used? How do we know if the water tests you're using are actually accurate or not, and in some manner being regulated so that you are buying a product that works, that your fish and your plants and all that stuff are going to be healthy in the situation that you have built for them, right? So there's a bunch of application of stuff that I have pretty consistently over the years been able to kind of relate to people in the fact that, like, did you make the water tests that test the water so that you could find out if there is ammonia in your water or nitrite in your water or nitrate in your water or the general hardness in your water? And they go, no, I didn't make any of that stuff. And you go, well, how do you know that it works? Like, well, it says so on the package. Like, okay, well, who's verifying that or not, right? There are a lot of mechanisms that we utilize on a day-to-day basis that are a community effort, and I believe that we should be bolstering and building those community efforts as we move forward into the year 2021. By the way, when I was a kid, we were told we'd have flying cars and robots and all that kind of stuff. And the reality is that a lot of the capitalism that has been driving the United States, where I happen to live, has been driving those innovations just so that companies can be more profitable. And that's really the reality. It's like we have robots now and people get laid off because, hey, we got robots to do that job. So, how we get there is always a debate. But it's never a debate, realistically, as far as I'm concerned, where, the removal of people's rights and stuff like that, just because it's like, well, it's got to be free for the corporations to do whatever. Otherwise, we wouldn't have a job to work at. And it's like, okay. No one that is alive right now has never really been through a period of time where there was just nothing to do. Because at the very least, you could start your own. There's just so many things that like a person could be doing on a day-to-day basis than just strictly like working for a corporation that is giving you the tiniest amount of money that they possibly can to keep you working there. That's a reality. Sir says, do you have any videos on riparian plants? I think I have some older videos on some riparian plants. I wouldn't say that's a big focus of mine nowadays. I used to make riparian tanks and do more above water stuff, and I was going to build a greenhouse this year, but though due to the pandemic we decided to cut back on our spending, and we basically spent that money on being more prepared for the potential of the what could be happening here in the future, like guns and ammo. And food and medicine, that kind of stuff. So we definitely could do more. Texas Annie says, I'm nor left or right, but facts are Pelosi is literally throwing a hissy fit because she isn't getting stuff with the census, etc. Look it up. Let that go for another bill, and please help the people. The census helps people in the United States. I don't know if you understand that the census being properly calculated in every area in the United States is how federal money is allocated for those locations. So if we don't have a proper count of how many people are in, for instance, your county in Texas, you could end up with a gigantic shortfall of funds for the things that we rely on, like roads, like lights, like water, like all of the stuff that we rely on a day-to-day basis. So if those funds aren't allocated, you'd be paying sales tax, property tax, income tax, all of the taxes that we pay, and that money not being allocated back to where you live, so that for instance, you could keep the hospital open in the area where you live, because it's illegal in the United States to not provide emergency care to people who need it, right? So what ends up happening is a lot of the hospitals in the United States, under the corporate umbrella, they find out, oh, this hospital over here is not profitable. I guess we're not going to really like continue doing hospital stuff there anymore. So we end up with these extremely underserved counties, even in Washington State. Some of the counties south of me still have 200,000 people living in them, but they're underserved because most of the people are retirees. Most of the people are on Medicare, Medicaid down there. And that's really an unfortunate thing to see in Washington State, how well Washington State is doing. I can't imagine what it's like in Alabama when somebody gets sick and you have to drive, 100 miles to go to a hospital to get care and stuff like that. So these things that somebody like Nancy Pelosi is pitching a fit, like I said before, I'm not a huge fan of Nancy Pelosi. She's a career politician. It's a big problem. But if somebody's pitching a fit for the people to get a better deal so that the average person is going to have an easier go of it next year, considering the fact that we are staring down with this pandemic has not gone away to the point where the president had it, right? The president had it and was able to get experimental transfusion treatment that, by the way, was from stem cell research that the party he's supposedly from has opposed doing stem cell research for the last 20 years. So the president gets sick. He utilizes stem cell research transfusion therapy that was really only tested on, 20 people before he even used it? And all of a sudden we're just supposed to... we're supposed to think that whatever is happening here is completely normal. Yeah. Mikey Fishy, Fish Tank Barn says people are torqued up today. Yeah, I'm pretty torqued up today. Yeah, for sure. I will admit it. I'm a little bit pissed off at the stuff that's going on, and just even to the point of the stuff from yesterday where, they asked Donald Trump about QAnon, and he's just like, I don't know who that is. I don't know who QAnon is. I don't know what that is. Even though he's literally said on numerous occasions before he knows who QAnon is. And, he's just completely lying up there. It's one thing to say, you're trying to do something good and the good thing that you tried to do didn't work out, I trust Wolf, and by the way, I do not have a vote. I'm not in the U.S. Dave's Aquarium says, does the Patreon stuff on Fridays include posts made after Monday or just Friday? It's just whatever posts were made from yesterday's show, last week's show up until now. I just don't do any, if people post during the show, I don't grab those during the show. But here's Dave. Dave, he's probably wondering if I was going to talk about this. I can't remember if I talked about the resin thing. I normally hit the heart button. Oops. Heart. Yeah, there we go. So I know where I'm at. But this was from last week, and I can't remember if I put this up or not. I don't know. Here's a print from the little resin printer. And I think we did talk about this last week. I think I remember posting this up. It was a pretty cool little print, man. I got to admit, just how good the technology is getting with 3D printers these days is pretty amazing, honestly. So that's kind of how the Patreon works. Like, if you post something in between from last week's show up until now, and then I just don't refresh it during the show because somebody could accidentally post something up there that I haven't looked at ahead of time. Yeah. Michael Sarr says, Lordy, Lordy, I hope things can kind of go back to semi-normal next year. Yeah, that was actually kind of the point that I was making of just going like, I would like to see a lot of progress in the United States, 100%, and I'm definitely voting for Joe Biden because I would just like things to just kind of go to a relative normal for the next 4 years. And then if we want to go full bonkers crazy again, then we'll do it then. How about that? Maybe we just continue going back and forth like crazy forever. I guess. I don't know. Or maybe we just re-elect Ronald Reagan. I don't know. Rico Stance says, my kids brought me a printer for Father's Day, and I have not done a single productive thing with it. We have a ton of figures and geek statues now, though. It's a good... That's kind of the thing. Like, I was worried about getting into 3D printing for mainly that reason. And the other side of it is... I'm trying to think of the guys from Minnesota. They're making a bunch of fish tank parts and stuff, and they're just like, their 3D printer is just constantly running, like nonstop. And so they've just turned into this little tiny 3D printer manufacturing company that's not making like a ton of money, but they still have to like try to keep it going. A normal year would be weird, but what would we complain about? Yeah, I don't know. I don't really know. Big D Smoke says, nah, another chump as POTUS, and I'm out of here. I say Portugal. There's a big aquascaping aquarium in Portugal. Maybe I'll go there and aquascape. Let's see here. Okay, I think I'm caught up. Yeah. We have a very cool fab lab at the university that is closed, and I can't use pesky COVID. Yep. I think one of the things that has kind of dropped off of people's radar is that, like, I think a lot of people think that this pandemic is over. I've definitely noticed that. I've definitely noticed, like, more and more people that are just like, yeah, I don't know, I'm just tired of caring about catching it, and I think they just want to catch it. Yeah. I think they just want to catch it. Donald's Fish Vibe says, Joel, you okay with, I can never say her name correctly. Kamala? Yeah, I think it's Kamala. I don't know. I'm probably saying it wrong, and if I am, I'm sorry. Am I okay with Kamala for president? Well, she's running for vice president. So, sure. I'm vote for her for vice president. Yeah. And by the way, if you know something that I don't know, let me know. And by the way, both of these presidents are in the exact same age group, 177 and 174. So that is the exact same age group. If anybody's trying to play the Biden's old card, yeah, so is Trump. Like, they're both old. They were both supposed to be retired. What's the retirement age? 65? You're supposed to be retired by 65, right? Let me see. Oh, I got to close this window so I don't accidentally post something on my Google search here. Retirement age. 66 years and 2 months. Currently, the full benefit age is 66 years and 2 months for people born in 1955, and it will gradually rise to 67 for those born in 1960 or later. So, I mean, like, both of these dudes are supposed to be retired. You know what I'm saying? So if anybody's trying to play that card, they're both supposed to be retired. You know? Yeah. So they're both old. And would, in my mind, fall into the elderly category. I mean, if you were supposed to be retired like 8 or 9 years ago, I'm like, kind of falling into the elderly category. My dad's like 72, and he's pretty jacked for a 72-year-old dude, but he has health problems. He's 72. Like, average age for a man in the United States is, let's see. Whoops. I'm gonna keep this closed for a second while I Google search things. Average age of death, USA, male. Let's see. 78.5. So my dad's only supposed to live for 6 more years, right? And it's going down. It's dropping. Oh, but the UK, you're going to live to 81. Canada, 83. Oh, look at that. Maybe move to Canada. You'll live a couple extra years. Life expectancy from the CDC. Let's check this out. I wonder what country is the oldest. All right. CDC's website is taking way long to load, and it just gave us the U.S. Okay, that's what we already had that information. It's good that we went to the CDC's website for them to tell us the exact same thing. Okay, that was dumb. Sorry, my bad. But yeah, either way, both those dudes are too old, and I think Kamala is. I mean, to be honest with you, like Kamala is intelligent. She has experience. Whether I agree with her politics or not, I mean, I'd really have to like delve super deep, but I didn't vote for her in the primary, if that's what people are wondering. I voted for Bernie in the primary. That's who I voted for. We still had a primary here in Washington. So I voted for Bernie. Sanders seemed to be the closest. He's a social democrat, democratic socialism, and that's pretty much where I'm at, is like, I believe capitalism should exist. I believe that there should be regulations in place for that, to not be taking advantage of crazy, with like monopoly laws and stuff like that. Whereas we see Amazon is getting into healthcare now. They sent us a thing yesterday to sign up for Amazon healthcare. Like, what? This is insane. Like the Amazon monopoly is just over the top. Just over the top, totally bonkers. Yeah. And, people that are like, oh, Bernie's a socialist. I mean, he's democratic socialist. He wants people to vote for a democracy. That's what I want. I want the people's voice to go and to function properly, And the way I look at it is like the United States is very similar to the EU in the fact that we're all these little countries within one big country, right? To act like the issues in Washington State are the same as the issues in Florida, it's pretty disingenuous, like every state has its own things that it needs to be focusing on to try and, mitigate problems, continue commercial success, to continue the things that everybody needs to go. Some of the big differences is, in my opinion, that the EU has handled a bunch of the things that we never had to handle, like healthcare, all that kind of stuff. It's all just sitting there. It's all just sitting there, and it's opportunity for people to take money out of it. And I think one of the big things that, when they talk about prescription drug companies, I don't think people realize how much tax money goes into developing most of the stuff that, prescription drugs are developed by taxpayer money and then licensed by these independent companies that just jack the price up, Makes me sad. Bernie sold out to the Dems and changed a lot of his ideals. He did not sell out to the Dems. And people that are critical of Bernie Sanders for throwing his weight in with the Democratic Party, it's because Bernie Sanders understands how politics works, that it's not one person going to solve the issues that he thinks are important. He fully understands that. He understands how politics work, that you need to create a large coalition to make a change towards the stuff that needs to be changed. If we want to be a dictatorship, then it would be fantastic if we have individual people making all of the decisions for us. But Bernie Sanders understands that's not how the world works. He went through the primaries, and it looked to be about 40% of the people were directly voting for Bernie Sanders. He was getting beat by Joe Biden. A lot of that has to do with the United States and the way that name recognition means a lot in the United States. A lot of people just voted for Biden because they recognize his name. That's just the reality. And a lot of people didn't vote for Bernie because most of the things that they've seen is Bernie's a socialist and he wants to and do all this stuff. And so most people voted for Biden. And that's the reality of how it went down, Spencer Wells, just my 2 cents, but ease move on from politics. I'm exhausted with politics personally, and this hobby is my escape from it. I love the fact that Corey refuses to go into politics on his live streams. Yeah, like I said, this is my show. I make a show. I'm not forcing anybody to show up and be on this show. I am totally appreciative of the support that I get on this show. If people want to learn just fish stuff, you're going to have to buy some books. You're going to have to read some books. You're going to have to read some scientific journals. You're going to have to do a lot of stuff. I appreciate that Corey doesn't get into politics on his live streams, but I don't really listen to Corey's live streams. I don't really listen to any live streams that really are just like strictly a fish-only kind of environment, because I don't personally relate that way to the world, right? I don't relate in the fact of like, not everything to me is pogostemin, right? Not everything to me is tetrafish or this or that or the other thing. And it's, I understand, like, if it's not your cup of tea, it's just not your cup of tea. Like, I understand that. At the beginning of this year, I was planning on separating this channel into two different channels so that people that just wanted to watch fish stuff, that if people that just wanted to watch fish stuff, y'all could watch the Fishy McFisherton channel, whatever the hell it was going to be called. And the reality is, like, the pandemic hit, and I do not have the finances or the time to split off and do other channels. So I do my live stream. People could pop in and ask a fish question, and we could definitely talk about that. But contextually to what happened last night there was a debate that ended up not being a debate. There was 2 town halls. So I, was basically talking about that stuff. And, that's the thing. Dave's Aquarium says, if I ever stream, it'll be 8 hours of a camera on my tank and no talking or music. Yeah, Corey has that too. You could watch on his website. He has a 24-hour camera pointed at Murphy's tank. So you could watch that. That's 24 hours of fish stuff, So, like, I'm not trying to be like argumentative or cranky with people or anything like that. I think it's really weird to enter this like this really like one-dimensional vision of like, I only like to have time off and not have work, right? Like, that would be weird to be on vacation all the time. And there are a bunch of like fish channels that people just get on and like talk about their goldfish or whatever. And I definitely do talk about fish tanks and stuff like that. I'm pretty entranced by the ecosystem of things. And if people don't see the parallel that the ecosystems are being ravagely destroyed on a regular basis because of the systems that we have in place, both politically, geopolitically, nationally, and internationally, then I don't know what to say about that situation when somebody is in that position of like, I only like my pastime. That's it, And I think it really has a parallel with like, like the Colin Kaepernick taking a knee or whatever. And it's like all these people like throw this crazy hissy fit about a protest. And then like, I'm never watching the NFL ever again. Like, okay. Kind of seems like to me they don't remember or have been a fan of the NFL for very long, because it is a new thing that the national anthem is even played at the beginning of football games. It's new. That's not something that has happened. And I don't want to get misquoted. I don't want to misquote the date here. So I'm going to look it up and I'm going to check, when did the NFL start playing the national anthem. And by the way, it's your tax money. It's your tax money that has them play the national anthem. It's from it comes from the U.S. military. Well, of course, I can't find it now, but I believe it was like 2008, and I might be wrong. Let's see. National anthem be played at every NFL game. Uh-oh. Do not autoplay. Yeah, stupid video. Let's see here. I don't know. Maybe Big D Smoke can look it up for me, because I know he and we've talked about it before. Like, of course, my Google is not finding it. When did the NFL make players stand? I probably should have looked this up ahead of time, but I didn't know I was going to talk about this, so it would be weird. Why is it like, whoa? I'm going to have to log out of my Google because it's legit just giving me all this like really weird. I'll probably have to log into DuckDuckGo to look it up. But either way, like playing the national anthem before a football game is a new thing. And I wonder if Big D Smoke, they did it for money from the military to get those reunions of soldiers and their families. They actually charged the military hundreds of thousands to do those. Yeah, it's one of those things that like, but either way, I'm not an NFL channel, but Dave's Aquarium says Axios has a good timeline on the anthem. Let me see. Okay. Axios, NFL playing the national anthem. Why is there a W at the beginning? That's weird. History of singing. Yeah, 2009. Yep. Yep, Roger Goodell instituted 2009 is when they started doing it. And it's because they got paid. They're getting paid by U.S. tax dollars to do it. Yep, 2009, NFL players began standing on the field for the national anthem before the start of primetime games. Before this, players would just stay in the locker room and generally like wouldn't play it, except for during the Super Bowl. Yeah, either way. But it's like, I mean, if you were like an actual fan, you'd be like, this wasn't even a thing that we had to do before. Punchy Paint says it somewhat started in September 5th, 1918. NFL didn't exist in 1918. During Game 1 of the World Series between the Boston... Yeah, that's baseball. That's not football. But the NFL didn't exist in 1918. There was two separate leagues, and it doesn't look anything like the way that football does now. So, yeah. Because the Super Bowl this will be Super Bowl 52 this year, I think. So, it's even been around less than the people that are retiring. I'm a Bears fan, but if the Lions ever actually did anything, I'd root for them. I mean, the Lions are they're a disaster. I mean, come on, dude. Cooley Kev says, I really feel like kneeling is such a small form of protest that so many people took way too personally. Yeah, I mean, it's legitimately like, it's always been kind of bizarre to me, where it's like, people are complaining about somebody protesting. Like, come on, dude. Like, it's just, it's very weird. It's a very weird thing. In the Caribbean, it's a huge increase running the AC all day as opposed to the AC at the office. It is a big increase. I will say that. Like, especially like when it's hot out and stuff like that, if you're having to run the AC all day, it is infuriatingly expensive. Mismatched Sock says that never occurred to me. The NFL has just always been around in my tiny brain. Yeah, I mean, that's the weird thing. Like, all those weird, like, flag ceremonies and all that stuff that they do before the game, like, it's all paid for by the military, which is all our tax dollars to just encourage people to sign up for the voluntary military force. It's really like what it is. It's all just propaganda. I love football. I love the game of football. I think it is, it's like if you took, I guess boxing isn't right, but if you took like all the track and field sports and combined them with chess, that's how I feel about it. I feel like you take the chess element and all of the sports, the track and field sports, and you slam them together, and you end up with this incredibly strategic, like trying to figure out, how to maneuver your teams back and forth. I just love that. I love that about football. I really do. Not to mention like the athleticism, all that kind of stuff is all fantastic. But to me, it really is just like them just trying to strategically move around the field. It's just awesome. And so I've always liked football. I really don't really have that many friends that like football. I used to watch football with like my 4 buddies. One of them moved to Oregon. One of them moved to Utah. One of them moved to Wisconsin. And the other one, well, there's a pandemic now. So it was always just like me and my 4 buddies that would just watch football every weekend. And we just don't get to do that anymore because geographical constraints, and then now the pandemic. So it's literally like I just hang out and watch the game by myself now with Olivia going crazy. You know what I mean? So, yeah. Big D Smoke says, I don't have any friends that don't like football. Yeah, well, hey, to each his own. Oh, yeah, that's right. We got to do the promotional thing if people want to sign up as members or not. You guys will notice I moved the membership bar. This one, YouTube members went down to 100. That's before I talked politics. And Patreon went down to 217. So we are waning. We're not waxing. We're waning. We're decreasing. We're decreasing our numbers slowly but surely. And some people said, hey, man, what are you doing? Like, why are you doing whatever you want on your channel? And I'm like, well, the reality is I'm doing whatever I want on my channel. If you are a fan of the 10-minute podcast, if you know what I'm talking about, I've sort of stolen the idea from those guys. I'm doing their thing that they did is called the diamonding, where they tried to find the diamond fan. And then they gave away their podcast to the diamond listener. Which is sort of, they were just like, yeah, we're just going to do whatever we want on the 10-minute podcast. And then, and then they just stopped doing it and they gave it away to their number 1 fan. I'm not saying I'm actually doing that, but I'm inspired by them of just going like, you know what? I love the internet. There's 7 billion people on the planet. Not everybody is everybody's cup of tea, and I'm certainly not going to sit around and try to appease everybody. There's a whole bunch of other YouTube channels you guys can watch that people try to appease everybody, and that's just not my thing. It's not my thing. A lot of people don't like me. They're like, oh, man, you're abrasive and crappy, and I don't like you, and you suck, and da-da-da, and let me send you an email about it. Feel free to send me an email all about it, joel@darkstararts.com. You can send me the email, tell me I suck, I'm the worst. Or you could join up on Patreon or join up on YouTube. We're about to lose down our YouTube members. We're about to go from 3 digits down to 2. So, we're looking forward to that. We're looking to just shrink it down and try and just compress it. We're just going to try and compress that number down into 1 YouTube member, and then we'll just give them the channel, right? Which, I hate to tell you guys, but it would probably end up being Corey. He would probably be the one that will outlast you all, I would guess. If I had to guess, since he was brought up earlier, my guess would be I just end up giving him the channel and just be like, just go do whatever you want. It's Aquarium Co-op, so you guys will do great. Donald's Fish Vibe. So, John, how come Trump got relief so easily from COVID with drugs he all wants to access? Oh, I don't know. I don't know about any of that. John Johnson was saying, except they don't hit each other anymore. I don't know about. I don't know what NFL you've been watching, but man, I've seen some serious hits in the last couple of weeks, and so the rules have changed a lot for the offenses to definitely be a lot more advantage to the offenses, and Seattle Seahawks players have been ejected from the game for helmet-to-helmet hits just this year. So, yeah, I mean, the hitting's still there. It's still an extremely, like, hard sport to play. Like, there's just nothing about it. Like, but I think, honestly, really should be protecting the players as much as they can and, you know, figuring it out on the science end. If they're figuring something out and they need to make a rule change because of it, it's like, I don't like them bringing it out to the 25 anymore. But the reality was, like, too many people were running out the kickoff, and that was causing a lot of injuries, you know? So you just do the statistical analysis. Like, the other day I listened to an hour-long podcast that was statistically breaking down to find the stupidest punt of all time. So they took like the 100,000 punts that have happened in NFL history and analyzed them all in a very statistical manner. And it is interesting. It's like one of the dumbest punts of all time was like the Bengals Lions or something. I don't know. It was the Bengals were involved. I think it was the Bengals and Lions. And they punted from like the opponent's 35, and it resulted in a 4-yard punt. So it was like the stupidest place to punt from in overtime. There were, you know, just like all of this really cool stuff. And I should probably like look up and find that video. But if anybody wants to know, just ask me on Discord and I'll go find it after the show. But yeah, it was really, really good. Just the history is intense and intensely strong with just the statistical analysis itself. So I was just like, oh man, I'm intrigued. I only cared about football when my ex was playing pro ball, and boy, is he now suffering from health effects being a lineman. Many surgeries. I think it should be banned from Paula. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I feel like it should be banned. I don't feel like it should be banned. But I think that there definitely needs to be restructuring. There definitely needs to be health care for those guys. There definitely needs, you know, I think there's a lot of changes and sharing of profits and that kind of stuff. I think, you know, I think it's pretty important to implement a lot of that stuff. Like colleges are 100% like profiting off of football and not really doing all that much for it, you know. The 99% Invisible podcast episode on the history of American football is really interesting, and I'm really not a fan of that sport. I'll hopefully I'll remember to check that out. I probably will. Yeah. John Johnson says just make a flag football and they can throw the ball all over the field. Who needs defense? Yeah. That's kind of accurate. It's kind of where it's getting to at this point. Yeah. Daniel Velez says I'm disabled mostly because of football. That sucks. You know, from my personal life, we should ban driving cars. We should ban riding bicycles. We should ban climbing, because those are all massive injuries that I've received. Riding bicycles, driving cars, and climbing. Those are where I've gotten all mine. So I just don't think it's a ban type thing. I think it's more of, utilizing science, making sure that people have health care, all that kind of stuff, which I think all just comes to the exact same as down to the political debate of like everyone should have health care, everyone should have access, everyone should have these things. And, you know, to act like there aren't countries that have that stuff figured out is disingenuous, in my opinion. In my opinion, it's really disingenuous to be like, well, Sweden doesn't know how to take care of anybody. And in the early chat here, people were saying like Sweden just went herd immunity, but The scientists have analyzed that. A lot of people died that didn't need to die. There have been a bunch of restrictions, but they've also, like, also at the same time, we're relying on their community to be like, hey, everybody wear a mask. And they're like, oh, okay, we'll do that, and then, so there's a lot of science that went into that also. So it's not just like a matter of that thing, because if you look at like Finland and whatnot, the neighboring countries, they had a definitely lower loss of life and stuff, which is, by the way, the whole point. It's to save us from losing people that we didn't need to lose. Because I'm on team people, man. I'm on team people. That's my thing. My thing is I'm on team people. All the cool stuff, like I'm all for the environment, but I'm also on team people. Paula says there's a support group for all the players who have had hip and knee and shoulder replacements. Yeah, that's awful. I mean, trust me, I don't want people to be injured. I really don't. I know a bunch of mechanics that have had to retire in their early 40s because their back, hip, shoulders, all that kind of stuff. I'm not banning mechanics. Cars need to be repaired, that kind of stuff. So I just think it needs to be handled a better way, for sure. I mean, the NFL makes like billions of dollars extra a year, and it should be apportioned for the people that help build it. That's what I think. But am I right? I don't know. Just take good care of your GD players. My friend will never be able to competitively play sports again because of how hard he was pushed in high school football to the point of literally breaking. Yeah, and I think that a lot of that comes down to, that comes down to societal protections too and stuff like that. I mean, I think it really does, in reality. Ricky Aquatics is here saying, gotta say, I had to restrain myself from looking at some of the killifish on Aquabid. I 100% agree. I don't go on Aquabid anymore because of that. I will justify ordering, like fish that I don't have because it's a good deal or something like that, and then I'll add in a couple of things because I'm like, oh, well, if I add this in, I'll get free shipping, so then I'll get that, and I get that, and I get that. I've personally banned myself from Aquabid because, and also, like, I don't necessarily want the hassle or headache of getting something in the mail and it having died. I know that happened recently to some of the fish fam. Some shipping issues, like a box got crushed. There was this, that, and the other problem. And I get super depressed over that. I get super depressed when, some shrimp or something like that don't make it just because of something accidentally happened, or maybe there was a shipping problem, or, maybe they packaged something and they thought it was sealed and it leaked out, or, there's so many things that go into it. I try not to order that stuff. Although killifish, the cool thing with killifish is you can order their eggs. So I ordered some killifish eggs a while ago. I went through hatching them. They didn't hatch. Probably weren't good eggs, but I might try some killifish eggs again. I might try that again because that's just like a pain-free situation of like, oh man, the eggs didn't hatch. Well, my chicken eggs don't hatch either, and I don't get upset about that. It's because I don't have a rooster. Oh, we don't got no rooster. It's illegal where I live to have roosters. You know what I mean? So I wouldn't be, those eggs wouldn't be fertilized, The Fish Tank Barn with a $2 super chat says the stupidest punt is Michigan versus Michigan State in 2015. Oh, God. I feel like there was a flash of memory there. There's a flash of memory that something incredibly dumb happened with Michigan and Michigan State. And I think I'll try to remember to look that up later. I can't look it up. I'm sure it's copyright. So we can't look it up on the show, but you know how it is. I ordered some mail. Captain Weird is here. Says I ordered some plants in the mail, and stupid Canada Post gave me a sticker on my door, even though they didn't even attempt to deliver it. Now I got to go pick it up. Well, how'd they put the sticker on your door? Huh? Did somebody show up? Did somebody show up and just put a sticker on your door? Because that's weird. I don't know. I got cameras all around the property here, so if you're like me, you should look it up and see if they actually had the box and decided to not drop it off. Steve Bertie says, really, my neighbor has a rooster. Yeah, roosters are not permissible in the city of Tacoma and outlying areas. As far as my knowledge goes, we looked it up. You can have 5 chickens per person. Kids count. No roosters, though. Can't have roosters. But I gotta tell you guys, I saw some pygmy goats the other day, and I feel like I'm really missing out on something in life when I see pygmy goats, dudes. I don't know if you guys have ever seen pygmy goats, but I legit was like, oh my God, I feel like I'm missing out on something that is just so important in life, and that would be hanging out with some pygmy goats. Now, I don't know if you guys know, but Erica is somebody down in Oregon who does a ton of fish stuff. She has a bunch of cool fish stuff and a bunch of goats, and I legit was going to go down there this summer to film with the goats and film her fish room and stuff. And we didn't get to do that because the coronavirus. You know what I'm saying? Like, whether you think the coronavirus is real or not, it would have been a clear, I guess we'll call it cross-contamination. And I'm putting air quotes around that in case anybody's just listening. Cross-contamination situation of driving from Washington State down into Oregon to possibly bring whatever cooties we have here or to mix with their cooties. You know, who's got the cooties? I don't know. But I have to admit, I was really upset that we didn't get to do that this year, dude, because, like, I want goats wicked bad, and I happened to see some goats yesterday, some pygmy goats, and they were just out there doing little pygmy goat stuff. And, dude, I feel like I'm missing out on an important feature in life and being a human. Speaking of features, has anybody ever seen the like button feature? We got to hit that like button like crazy because YouTube is dumb and they want us to do interactive things. So yeah, let's bring the, we're at 50%. That's not good. We can't have 50% of people having hit the like button because I'm sure a bunch of people hit the dislike button because they probably got super mad, you know, because they're like, hey, other people with live streams, they don't talk about this stuff. You know? And I'm like, okay. Should I be another person for you? Should I be who you want me to be? And then maybe you'll like me? Or maybe should I just be me and you can make your own decision because you're a sane human being, right? Mike Kinsis says goats as pets. Yes, goats as pets, bro. Goats as pets. Goats as pets. We're not allowed to have goats here. We're not allowed to have goats here, dude. So, yeah, I feel like I'm missing out on something really, really important. You know what I mean? I feel like I'm missing out on something very important in life of us not having pygmy goats. Hold on a second. I'm going to mute the microphone because I'm going to yell. Vicky says she's making toast. She doesn't want to come talk about goats. I tried. But yeah, we definitely have discussed it previously that we definitely want to have some goats. It's something that is on our hit list of things to do before we get too old to do things, you know? Captain Weird says, if you don't have a compost, are you supposed to do with the stem plant trimmings? I'm wondering because stems can sometimes grow and become invasive. I don't know, mine would, but still. Well, compost is the best thing. I mean, you could always just make a compost. It's actually pretty simple. It's not that complex of a thing. You could just get a. I normally use one of those little metal cans, like it's metal, like it's heavy metal. But you could just use any old garbage can with a lid on it, whatever. You just throw all your trimmings in there, and they'll just break down and die. What's up, babe? What do you need? I was gonna ask you about us owning goats because, like, I really feel like there's an empty place in my heart because I saw pygmy goats yesterday, and I was like, oh my god, I feel like I'm missing out on something in life of us not owning pygmy goats. I know that we don't have a big enough yard here. I'm not saying we're going to get them here. I'm just saying I feel like we're missing out on something important.
Do we need to go visit the goat farm in Oregon?
Yeah, we can't because of COVID. But I was talking about that. Yeah, we can't go. We can't go to the goat farm. Coronavirus. And goats. Mismatched Socks is asking, can we have some toast? Because you're making toast.
I mean,
looks like she's already eating it. But yeah, she gave you approval that you guys could make your own toast and have toast. Yes. You can't hear Vicky because she's way over there. She's way over there on the stairs. She's being very elegant and toast eating. Yeah. Rico Stan says, can I have a goat? For God's sake, I'm making toast here. Okay. Donald's Fish Vibes is asking, how's the chickens? The chickens are doing fine. We had the one pass away a while ago. Stop yelling. We had the one pass away most recently, and Booger passed away also, which we had her cremated, and we got her footprint and stuff because she was the old chicken that had been around for a really long time. POG, I forget what POG stands for. What does the POG stand for? Just use my stimulus check to pay my taxes, government paying the government. That's wacky, dude. That's wacky. You got to get some other situation going on there because that math does not seem to make a whole lot of sense. But I guess if you I guess that's the best option that you had. I guess then that's the thing you got to do. Dave says you need a stairwell mic for Vicky conversations during the stream. Yeah, I'm not putting in a microphone up there in the stairwell. I will hit my head on it. Alyssa knows from coming down here that is a spot in the stairs that you will whack your head like 100% coming down the stairs here. They're pretty steep. And the last thing we need to do is be avoiding a microphone. Captain Weird was hiking in the woods about a week ago, found a chicken, picked it up, and it was very friendly. Don't know where it came from, though. Sounds like somebody's chicken was on the loose, dude. Yeah, I mean, first and foremost, the first thing I would do, if you still had the chicken, I doubt that you still have the chicken, but if you have the chicken, it sounds like somebody's pet may or may not have escaped. You could probably look around a local group or something, Facebook page or something, and see what's happening. But I would hopefully return it to wherever and go from there. Yeah. Oh my God, we have a new member during the show today. Uh-oh. All right, the guys were waxing. You know, we were waning before, but now we're waxing. We're going upwards in members here. We've gone up to 101 from Planted Aquarium 702. Ooh, I think what we're going to have to do here is do a little quick area code 702. Let's see. Las Vegas. Ooh. I'm guessing you're down there in Vegas. What's up, Vegas? Yeah, that looks like just the south end of Nevada there. Very specifically Las Vegas area code. Okay, so that's my guess. If I had to guess, Planet Aquarium 702 is probably representing either Henderson or Vegas. For everyone's sake, I haven't been to Henderson in a really long time. Okay, so full disclosure. I went to Henderson in 2002. I went to Henderson in 2002 because I was somebody was trying to hire me to run a restaurant down there, and it was the most depressing town I'd ever been to. Maybe it's different now. It's almost 20 years later, so. But at the time, I was like, "Oh God, I can't live here. This is not. It was just, I was like, dude, not a good idea. This is not gonna be good for me." But yeah, I mean, hopefully it's changed since then. Hopefully it's like they're taking it up. They're taking it up a notch. We'll see. We'll see what you say. We will see what we get from Planet Aquarium 702. Yeah, yes, sir. Henderson. Oh, down there in Henderson. Okay, so let's see what happens. Daniel Velez has got to go. Have a great weekend. Stay safe, well, and healthy. Thanks for the stream, Joel. Don't change a thing about it. I'm just probably losing my mind slowly but surely out here in this pandemic. Knowing that most of the chaff people have left, most of the people that are like, oh, whatever, I just wanted to hear somebody specifically talk about swim bladder issues. We got to just take a moment here and give a shout out to all my friends out there in the world that are having a hard time emotionally. You know what I'm saying? It's a very depressing time. It's very difficult. Just to remind people to do the basic maintenance things on your human being form that you can. Take some meditation, take a walk, read a book. Don't overly stress out about expectations, that kind of stuff. Let's just continue moving in the right direction. If you're feeling depressed, don't worry. I'm feeling depressed too. I'm tired and I'm depressed. So we just keep moving forward. You know what I mean? We just keep moving forward. Shout out to the Oceaneers. That's right. Dave's Aquarium's right. Shout out to the Oceaneers, the people that are hanging in there. Just shout out to everybody out there that may or may not be having a hard time. Just a reminder of just keep going, one foot in front of the other. We keep rocking and rolling. So you guys know, I'm out here in a pandemic being sober. Loving life, but feeling that the grip of depression, that seasonal affective disorders coming back. It's getting dark early, and it's going to start getting dark wicked early in like 2 weeks, and it's going to get darker and darker and darker for a really long time. Pretty good recommendation is to get yourself some pheasants, in particular the golden Chinese pheasants. I never had a good time with the small birds. I like the bigger birds. I would probably get some turkeys, some geese, some ducks, along with the chickens. Yeah. I never really had a great time with the small birds like the pigeon, or the pheasants or the quails or any of that. I just wasn't kind of the deal. Fishy Mindset says, how come I can't watch your most recent live streams after each time you stream? I try to rewatch but never had any luck. Okay. There's a 100% free method that I have cross-checked this to make sure that it works, and it does. 100% free method. If you want to go back and watch live streams, is if you're subscribed to the channel and you have all notifications turned on. Then you can go into the YouTube app. You can just scroll through your own notifications, right? Like on your phone. Let me see. Let me pull up mine. Notifications is right down here at the bottom. It's legit showing me right now. This button right here takes you to notifications, and it will pop up the notifications from the channels that you have set to get all notifications from. If you hit personalized or whatever, you won't get all of your notifications, but like right here, and I don't want to accidentally play something that I get copyright strike. But like some more news, right? Like I have all notifications from those guys. So even if they make a live stream private or not private, but unlisted, you can go back and watch it again. And I learned this trick from FitMC, which I don't know if you guys know who FitMC is. He's a Minecraft guy who I just think is hilarious. I think he's just super funny. He puts out one video a week on Saturday, and then he does a live stream on Sunday, and that's it. But his live stream goes unlisted after the fact. And the reality of that is that most people that engage with a YouTube channel are not interested in live stream long form content. It's just not something that most people are interested in. It's a reality that we all have to deal with. So what he does is he makes sure that they just go unlisted after the fact, so he can have all the engagement with all the fans and people and be able to talk back and forth and all that kind of stuff without cluttering up his YouTube page with a bunch of live streams. Now, I've tested this on numerous occasions. I have the notifications. I can go back and I can watch them at a later date, so I don't have to be there live or any of that kind of stuff. So that is the free method to do that. If you become a member or you become a patron, you can join up on our Discord, and I post them all into the Discord. Plus, you have contact with me and our community, which currently is our community is currently 184 people, 184. So we're coming up on the 200 mark, and so you get contact with the community on the Discord, and you also get access to links to all the old live streams, new live streams, whatever, all that kind of stuff. Plus, sometimes I comment, and we're able to chat back and forth, take pictures of stuff, send them back and forth, and that kind of stuff. So that's how I'm running the community, and some people like it, some people don't like it, and it just, I have to set a level of expectation for myself that I could be able to even actually to be able to do the things that I can or can't do. You know what I mean? So if it's like 24-hour contact with me all of the time, it's just not possible. It's not going to happen. But, where's the middle ground? Just trying to find the middle ground. We got a super chat from Steven. A $5 super chat. Thanks, my guy, just for chipping in. It's not even like answer my question or anything. It's just the old tip jar, bro. Well, thank you. I appreciate it. Ooh, this one has buttons on it. Oh. Those are all punishment buttons. Let's not click any of those. Those were all punishment buttons. I have the controls, and all the buttons are mean. Let's not push them. Okay. On to our Patreon posts of the week, which you guys know, if you're a patron, you can post up on here. We talk about these on the Friday shows. We go over what the heck is going on. And here's Dave's Aquariums. He's been giving us some good, solid coverage for the last couple of weeks on what's going on with his angelfish, which, by the way, the last sentence here, love that blue and the ventral fins. I got to admit, I love that too. And angelfish are one of those fish that I don't personally like to keep. I just personally, like some people don't like vanilla ice cream. Some people don't. That doesn't make it bad. It's just not for me. But I really appreciate checking out other people's angelfish. I got to tell you that. I love how they breed. I love just the look of them. I love how they kind of act. It's just not a fish for me to be keeping, personally. It's just not a good fit. It's like bulldogs, or pit bulls or something, Like, I love those dogs. I just don't keep them myself. It's just not what I'm up to. But, yeah. Apparently, I interrupted something important. I got the stink eye from the subdominant angel. Love the blue in them. They do have a good personality to drop in the old stink eye. You know what I'm talking about. That's for sure. And, yeah, you definitely interrupted something. They're breeding again. They're just breeding nonstop. I mean, you pretty much get a pair of angels. They're going to be dropping eggs on stuff. They're going to be breeding. They're going to find a pipe to lay eggs on. It's just kind of what they do. It's what they're about. You know, they're trying to propagate and take over the world. Dave's Aquarium says my male high-fin bristlenose catfish has moved into one of the Apisto caves, waiting to see him tail out in there daily. He and Mrs. Bristlenose have been chummy lately. Yeah, that's going to be a most likely. That's going to be a breeding scenario, most likely. Bristlenose, once they get about to this size, that's when they start to start rocking and rolling and doing some breeding and hiding out in caves and all that. I got to admit, one of my bristlenose, one of the super red bristlenoses was out the other day, and they're in the 240. They're starting to get beefy. They're starting to get big. Speaking of Aquabid earlier, maybe I should post one of those up on Aquabid and see how the bidding goes. But I don't ship fish, so that's going to be awkward, right? Rico Stan says, I'd like to learn more about these punishment buttons. Yeah, like, have you seen Starship Troopers? It's like, would you like to know more about these punishment buttons? Click here. I just realized my yellow ladder is right over there, and I was looking for it the other day. There it is. It's in my office. I was drilling holes in the ceiling, and the ladder is still over there. And that's why I couldn't find it. I just realized that, like a total idiot. I've walked past it probably 20 times. Yeah, I'm kind of dumb. I'm pretty dumb sometimes. I like to highlight it and point it out to you guys so the internet knows, hey, this guy doesn't even know where his yellow ladder is. And I wouldn't blame you for having known it because I said it out loud. Mikey Fishy sends us in. This shrimp is definitely into black metal, and you're not wrong. This shrimp is definitely into black metal, and I got to tell you, I'm a fan of both. Of both. It really is. I'm a fan of black metal, and I'm a fan of this black metal shrimp. That definitely is some good stuff. Planet Aquarium with a $5 super chat says, new to the hobby and found your channel when watching Aquarium Co-op. You have great content. Thanks for sharing your knowledge. Well, hey man, thanks for supporting the channel here, dude. Like, that's totally generous, just out of the blue. Super chats and memberships, dude. Thank you very much. I appreciate it a lot. I'm sure everybody else appreciates you, right? We'll see. We probably lost a few patrons during the show today. Oh no, we didn't lose any. That's weird. I'm gonna have to yell at people more often, I think. I don't know. But does he know where his towel is? Definitely. I can't say one way or the other. If anybody knows where their towel is, my towel is not in here. I left it in the fish room, which it's not a good long-term plan. Mikey Fishy also sends us in, just my male green dragon hanging out. Very excited for my new pair of these. Hope they do well. Oh, that's right. I think you got these from Melissa, maybe? Or maybe I'm wrong. I thought you did. I thought I saw some... I thought I saw some shenanigans going on where you guys are trading fish or buying fish or something like that. I think I saw something like that. But yeah, the green dragons are really, really cool. I don't happen to own any, and I'm wondering if you did buy some from Melissa. Maybe I could trade her for some. Maybe someday. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Although I do have some of Alyssa's guppies, which are doing pretty good. So we got that going for us. Oh, Michael Sarr, Windows seems to think I needed to check out for 15 minutes. Initiate blue screen. Yeah, I don't know what happened earlier today. My computer crashed. It just, like, shut down and restarted. Like, just super random. I think it had to do with the video card was hanging on something. I don't know. Oh, okay. Mikey Fishy bought them. It was her first shipping. Okay. I like it. I like that. That's good to see. It's good to see that people are busting out and breaking into new awesomeness. You know what I'm saying? Rumboss sends this in. This is a print I made a while ago. It's for the small tank that sits on my desk. There's Corys in there, and they kept splashing water on my hands. This wasn't really a problem until I started working from home. This hook lets me to place a piece of channel plastic in there as a splash guard and still allows access as it easily folds down. When it's folded down, I get a shelf to place things on, usually plants I've trimmed. The shelf's not quite level, so any water runs down back into the tank again instead of down onto the desk. Okay, this makes sense because you got this piece of plastic here that goes like this direction so you don't get like the beaming lights in your eyes. And then you're able to use this as a little shelf, right? I like it. This is pretty ingenuitive. You know, you have a need and you create something to address the need. It's pretty much like where that's pretty much how you get to where we're supposed to be at, right? That's pretty cool. It didn't cross my mind until today. Until seeing that today, I was like, oh, that's pretty smart. If I get glass tanks, I should probably make some of these. If you got glass rimless tanks, there's like nowhere to set anything. It's actually one of the really cool things I like about acrylic tanks is that you have space to set stuff down while you're working in the tank. You can always set all your tools on the top, set all your plant trimming on the top, your towel up there, all that kind of stuff. It works out pretty good. I don't know what's going on with... I'm going to move the camera around here a little bit. I think I adjusted something, and my camera was all weird. Yeah. I'm, like, tiny today. Wonder if I can remember how to zoom in. Can I zoom in? I don't know. There's a way to digitally zoom, and I don't remember how to do it. But I can move me around. Does it go layout? I don't know. Let's see it. There's a way to zoom in, but I can't remember how to do it. I think it's like, is it Control? No. Alt? No. I don't know. There's a way to do it, but who knows? Dave's Aquariums is wondering about Shelob, the unnamed spider, which I think we settled on Shelob, right? For the spider, and I have not seen the spider in a while. So the antics with talking about the giant spider were going really well, but I believe she must have made some kind of nest somewhere and now has disappeared. It would be my guess. You know, so we'll see what happens. Oh, Prime Day packages are starting to roll in. That reminds me, you know, we're an Amazon affiliate here, so if you guys want to use Amazon affiliate links, here's a perfect one that takes you right over to Amazon. You guys can go buy whatever you like, and it gives us a tiny credit to the channel, basically a commission. It doesn't change your price. It doesn't do anything like that. So it's a free way to support the channel if you were already going to buy stuff from the monolithic monster that is Amazon. But that's the only place I know where to get that book that I just listed in the chat right there. Great book. Definitely recommend it if you're trying to figure out what you're doing with your planted aquarium. I actually have it. And if I move a bunch of stuff around, I have a copy of it right here on my desk. Diana Wallstad highlights the Wallstad method and the walkthrough of all the jammy jams of how to kind of start up a planted aquarium. It's a great place to start because you can do a little bit of studying. You can figure out some of the stuff, and then you can start to piece together some techniques of your own from there. I think is generally the best way to go about learning what it is that you're trying to do. Mirdul Singh is saying, if I click on the link but don't buy anything, will you still generate money? No, that's not really how that works. If you don't make a sale, you don't make any money. So Amazon doesn't pay me to tell you about Amazon. Amazon utilizes, basically put it this way, Amazon utilizes me to influence people to buy things at Amazon. and they're like, hey, you have an audience, so make sure that your audience buys things from Amazon. Now, I personally tell people to go to Aquarium Co-op because they've been a generous sponsor of the channel. They not specifically sponsoring this live stream or anything like that, but I say, hey, go to Aquarium Co-op if you have fish tank needs and plants and you want plants and stuff like that. Yeah, go do that. But if there's other stuff you're trying to get from Amazon, go to Amazon. You know, like that's just that's the pitch. Those are our two sponsors of the channel, but they're very passive sponsors. They're not telling me to tell you anything specifically. You know, so I just kind of do whatever. Although I got to close that window because it just opened up and it's not supposed to be open. There we go. I clicked the wrong thing. I'm running a tight ship around here of clicking the wrong stuff. Yeah, okay. Well, we're let's see. You should have gotten a little bit from the 4 snow tires I bought a few days ago. Nice. I wonder if that showed up. I wonder if snow tires have showed up. Let me see. Bridgestone Blizzak. Yep. There they are. Right there. Definitely top of the earnings list by far. Let's see. That's top of the earnings list by 300% over the next closest item. So, yeah, I guess if people are going to buy tires from Amazon through my link, I guess, because I'm not mad at that commission, and everybody needs tires or something. Does everybody need tires? I don't know. But, they're on sale. Oh, here we go. I'll post you guys the link. Look at that. Those are on sale. You could probably order them up and then go to a shop and put them on your car. I don't know. If the borders were open, I'd love to go to Aquarium Co-op. They're only about 8 hours away. Yeah, the borders aren't open. So, yeah, pandemic. I keep trying to remind people, I'm like, dude, there's a pandemic. Do I want to go to Europe? Yes. Do I want to go to Oregon? Yes. Do I want to go to Florida? Yes. Do I want to go do all that stuff? Yes. Can I? No. There's a freaking pandemic going on. And the last thing I want to do is bring an unknown virus to my family and cause harm to my family inadvertently just by doing stuff like I gotta go to Oregon to film the sheep or the goats. Not sheep, sorry. There's probably sheep there too. It's Oregon. What are we talking about, right? Yeah. All right. Let's see what we got here. Blizzaks are awesome for the winter. I tried doing donuts in a snowy parking lot one time, and they were too grippy. These Blizzaks got too much grip. We can't be doing no donuts, bro. Come on, bro. We want to do donuts. We can't. The Blizzaks is too grippy. They coming forth with the grip of 10,000 tires, and we won't blow out in the trying to do donuts in the park here. The parking lot, not the park. Get out of the park. Yeah. Uh-oh. Oh man, we've got a back and forth here on opinions about snow tires. They're not as good as Nokian Hacapolitas. I'm not saying that right. Whoa. I don't even know what these tires are. Are these tires? Whoops. Oh, crap. I had it highlighted and then copy. Let's go take a look. Let's go see if this is a real thing. Maybe Dave is messing with us. Oh, I can't close this Amazon window. It has a microphone that I'm trying to figure out. Do you know how stupid it is to be like having to order tools for your job? God, they are. They're real tires. They are. Nokian Hacapolita. I don't know. I mean, it must be like Norwegian or something. Maybe they're from Finland. Are they Finnish? Look at these. Now, they all say free shipping. This is the only one with Prime shipping, but it's way too expensive. These Nokians are way more expensive than the Blizzaks, though. I think this is the same size tire. What, 205/60? No, that's not right. That's not the same. But these ones are like $150 a piece. I don't know. Welcome to the Tire Show with your humble narrator, Gerald, the guy who is not hip to current tire technology. So we're probably going to learn a lot. Probably going to get wicked smart about tires and, pronouncing things wrong. So we got that going on. I live somewhere that needs a lot of AC use, but not snow tires. Oh, yeah, that's a good point. I guess that's the offsetting cost. You can offset snow tire cost with air conditioning cost. Captain Weird says you're going to be doing something special for Stream 1000. I don't know, maybe. I mean, I just don't know what I would do that was special, I just really don't know what I would do that would be special for Stream 1000. I mean, I don't really have any ideas, but I mean, I guess I'd be open to ideas or something like that, but the reality is, like, most of the special stuff that people most of the things that I could do that would be special would likely cost money or coordination of other people. So it's like, let's say for Stream 1000, I wanted to get Tom Cruise to come on here. I don't know why. I'm just picking some random famous person that you all would recognize their name. And what if I wanted Tom Cruise to come here and yell at us about Scientology or whatever? It would A, cost money, or B, cost resources to try and get him here, but we'd end up then we'd have the coronavirus. Maybe it's cured by then. Maybe there's a vaccine. Who knows? But, 9:58, so we do 40 more streams. So it's like 20 weeks from now. That's quite a while. It's 5 months. Although I could just start doing weekend streams to speed it up. But then again, if I start doing more live streams, then I start talking about current events and people get all super pissed off. And they're like, I only came here to talk about fish. Even though the first comment that you made was not about fish. It's very interesting. Mikey Fishy is asking if I have kept Paratosynclus eplei. And yes, though it's been an extremely long time. My old buddy got these in, and we had them in, I want to say like a 30-gallon tank, like a long, long time ago. And I don't remember anything like wildly specific about taking care of them. They're just, but I do remember having these in and it being impossible to pronounce. And back then, I used to drink a lot, and we would laugh about trying to pronunciate fish, and it somehow ruined my ability to pronounce fish, decades later, right? Yeah. Probably just as diminishing as playing football, I would guess, mentally. We are average 120 inches of snow a season. Oh, yeah, that's a lot of snow. That's 10 feet, to those of you that might not know. Let's see. Mikey demands Tom Cruise, but for Top Gun reenactments. Yeah, that movie's not even coming out till next year. I'm super pissed. It was supposed to be Top Gun 2 was supposed to be out, and it's not going to be until next year. Pandemic. Great. Sounds fantastic. A little town called Hooker up on Tug Hill Plateau got 11 feet of snow in a week a few years ago that did not break their record. uh, 11 feet of snow in a week, and that didn't even break their record. That's buck wild. That's too much snow. That is too much snow. Rookie Aquatics says super chats. Oh, Mikey Fishy said in the $5 super chat, another 30 years nobody will need snow tires. Well, I don't think nobody. I think it'll still snow. But yeah, I mean, gotta do something about climate change. It's just a reality. Captain Weird says A Quiet Place 2 has been pushed back 2 times now, and theaters are closed the day before it was supposed to come out. Yeah. I've kind of soured on The Quiet Place when I realized that, like, they kind of stole that from the original Quiet Place. So Quiet Place was plagiarized from, let's see. So a lot of people have kind of accused, after the release of John Krasinski's A Quiet Place last spring, the Pandora's box of sensory-based horror films looked to be blown open for good. Netflix did a very well release. Starring Stanley Tucci, Beauty and the Beast, Kieran Shipka, I don't know. The Silence is about a family trying to evade dangerous creatures that hunt by sound alone. It's almost too crazy to say because it sounds like straight up plagiarism. It isn't. It really isn't, though, but Shipka's character, Ali Andrews, is deaf, having lost her hearing at the age of 13. Yeah, I don't know. I forget the timeline, but The Quiet Place. So, yeah, now The Silence is being called a ripoff of The Quiet Place, but this is all confusing. The Silence is being called out by Netflix viewers for copying A Quiet Place, but A Quiet Place, The Silence is based on a 2015 novel of the same name, which was released before writing A Quiet Place actually began. That's what it is. Okay. So The Silence was a book that is like eerily close to A Quiet Place, right? That came out in 2015. The production of The Silence began in September 2017, but given the source material, it's obvious that the concept wasn't stolen. A Quiet Place just came out first, right? So a lot of people have been pretty pissed off because, like, The Silence was a book before The Quiet Place was even written, like the screenplay. And it seems to be that, like, Krasinski and his wife may or may not have stolen the idea of from The Silence, the book that came out, right? And that's when I kind of like lost my, like, I was like, I can't deal with any of this. You know what I mean? So it really, I really kind of like lost my, like, wow, I really want to be involved with this whole circle of weirdness. Because I have a lot of questions about the Krasinski character. Aaron Sato, in my tank, I preferred lower light or shade. What do we got? Any experience with Laganandra me boldy eye red? I have some of the Laganandra giant purple, and it is a cranky plant. But yes, you definitely don't want direct light on it. Any slight changes in the water will cause it to melt, die back, send out new leaves again. It's a bit of a cranky plant in my experience. But as far as, like, advice, really consistent water, keep it in the shade, is probably my best advice too. Jerome's in the house. What's up, Jerome? Good to see you. Thanks for coming out. All right. Well, we're coming up, I think it feels like the end of the show. I've been on here for a while now, and we might as well just, I don't know. Doesn't seem like there's much pressing issue, and we started talking about movies and stuff again. So I feel like whenever we get to talking about movies, it's like getting to be the end of the show. Rumbus says, show clips from your old shows and talk about them. I don't think I'll do that for the 1,000. Whatever extravaganza. That doesn't sound like a thing I would do. What's the rarest plant I have? Let me see. The rarest plant that I have. I don't know. I honestly have to think about that. Wasn't necessarily thinking about that. Probably, I have some really rare Areocallan right now. I should probably put a video out about them, but I haven't yet. Wanted to see how well they survived. So, that's going pretty good. Yeah, I think that might be it. Most difficult plant? Probably... Let me think. What's the most difficult plant that I have? I don't know. I'd have to consider that. I don't know. I'd have to think about that though. Not to get too political, but make you guys vote. Voting is a privilege. Yeah, we got to vote. Yeah, 100%. I got political earlier and people got super mad. But yeah, I don't mind. I don't mind that people got mad. Go vote. Go vote 100%. 100% go vote. 100 million people just decided to not vote last time, and they should vote. All right, I'm out.